So I've got these ocean aquarium nails that I've been working on, and these Dacquoise sand gels were really giving me coral vibes. And I used to have a saltwater tank and I kept corals, and they very much have like a sandy kind of texture to them that these gels reminded me of. The collection I have today is Dacquoise, and that's coming from the nail, Fgel's Dacquoise. So it's a sand with reflective glitters in it, if I'm not mistaken. And they're going with a cookie theme. Mix almond flour and powdered sugar into the meringue. A sweet cookie made with baked pastries filled with cream. Dacquoise with a crispy exterior and soft interior. And I'm just loving this little cookie box that they put it into. I'm not usually one for packaging, but that's kind of cute. When we open it up here, we've got a adorable little cookie swatch card to put our colors onto. And it's a 6-piece set. They've got some really interesting bottles that they've done for this collection, and they are 10 grams each. So the numbers we have for this collection are FU 47 through to FU 52. So I will just get right into swatching these and we'll see what they're like. So here we are starting off with FU 47. This is a really nice pinky peach kind of tone. And you can see those little reflective glitters in there. So as a lot of you might already know, I do have quite a few different gel polishes. And so I'm really always looking for different ones that are unique and not so typical with straight colors and such. So anytime I come across something different like this, I'm always curious. Never quite sure if I'm going to be able to use it, but I'm always curious to see what it's going to be like. So this has like a gritty texture in it, hence the sand gel. And I'm finding it like a little bit watery. Like it's not as smooth as I would have kind of hoped for, but it just might need a bit of a better mix. And we'll see how it goes as we go along. So I will do 2 coats as usual, and maybe just half of a coat for the second one, same as I do with most of my gel polishes, or most of my glitter gel polishes, I should say. But we'll cure that and see what ends up looking like. So it hasn't leveled the greatest, but let's see what happens with our second coat here, the half coat, half tip. It does seem like it would easily correct with the second coat. In my next color, I'll mix it up a lot better and see if that makes a difference. Yeah, it did even out with that second coat, but still quite watery and separate, if that makes sense. Here we have FU 48. It's a very, very light, creamy tan brown color. And I've mixed this one up really, really, really well, hoping that it evens it out a little better. Or maybe I'm just going in too thick with my coats. Maybe I should be doing this in much thinner layers. Yeah, this one seems to be a little better evened out this time. So maybe a really good mix is what these guys need, because that's definitely not as separated as the first color was. So super good mix, but I don't really see them like leveling very well, self-leveling. And that's probably due to the gritty sand texture that's in there. It would make sense. So yeah, this one cured much better, much smoother. So I think a combination of really good mix and just thinner coats is going to work better with this. And there's different colors in this glitter. Like there's a little bit of black and a little bit of flash sparkle and a little bit of like peachiness and a little bit of brown. It's really, really interesting because it's really hard to like pick out the bits. You just see that there's bits there. It's so fine, like grains of sand. Here we have FU 49. And this is a bit of a peachier toned brown. Not brown, sorry, like a peachier toned cream. It's coming up a little yellow from what I can see on the camera, but it's got a much peachier tone to it. First, I wasn't at all sure what I would ever do with these, but I knew that they were going to be cool for something, and I have a really neat idea to try out with them. If my idea works out, there will be some nail art at the end of this video. And if my idea does not, we won't be doing any. I'll just have to wait and see. Oh, look at I swiped too hard and I moved everything around. So very, very, very light touch, or else you shift all that sand and glitter bits around and swipe it all to the very bottom. So these do feel like they would take a little bit of playing with just to kind of perfect them, or just a very light, gentle hand. I wasn't paying enough attention there and just kind of heavy-handed, smooshed it all down to the tip. So I'll go off screen and kind of even this out a little bit. Okay, I'm feeling like I'm using the wrong color. Ah, interesting. So this is indeed the right color, but when it cured, it turned very tan. A lot of the peach color is gone, but now putting back down again, I don't know if you can tell that on the camera, but my new layer is like much peachier, much more peachy, and the cured layer is much more tan. So it lost some of its color in curing, or shifted some of its color in curing. I don't know. That's interesting though. It'll be interesting to see if this ends up being the same color as the last one once it's all cured. Here we have FU50. This looks really pretty. It's a very like light pastel-y bluey purple. Like it looks like it's going for purple, but it very much has a blue tone to it. And again, it's got some really neat sand bits in it that are like peachy, maybe a little on the brown side, like tan. Well, this one's going on really nice. I like that. That's beautiful. That looks like it'd make a really nice base. I'm really looking forward to seeing these colors matte. I feel like they'd make for like really cool beach sand, something like that. Well, not the purple obviously, but the brown ones. This one's FU51. It's a really neat green. This would make for cool spring nail situations. This one does feel very Eastery. I'm getting better with like super, super light touch when applying it. The last one we have here is FU52, and this is definitely a pink. It's a very peachy baby pink, but it's still pink. I feel like you might be able to do something really cool with these if you do like nuance nails, those Korean gel styles. I feel like this would make a neat base, and then with some chrome swirl type stuff over it, it might be a really quick and easy look for a nuance design. Or using inks over it might be neat too. Well, let me know in the comments what your take on these are. Like, they're not automatically screaming winner to me like some sets that I swatch do, but I do see where for certain art techniques that they could really come in handy. They are really unique, but sometimes unique items make it a little harder to figure out what exactly you're going to do with them. While the formula isn't perfect and takes a little playing around with, it still works okay. So here we have them all top coated, and as per usual, we've got matte at the base and glossy to the tip. I do rather like the matte look. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Is this like a hit or a miss? We've got these two colors here are extremely similar, but one's more peachy toned. The other one is more tan, browny toned. Then our pinks, these are a really light baby pink and a more robust, like a blush kind of a pink. The green and blue are really nice and interesting. And I do feel like they might very well be ideal for the project that I'm going to work on. So that's a win for me. But in general, it'll be interesting to see what everybody thinks and if this is something that you can see yourself using. I can think of a few different art ideas for them. I'm just not sure how much I would use them in day-to-day use doing sets of nails. But for people that really like that nuance look, more earthy toned looks, this could go over quite well. So I hope you guys enjoyed checking those out. I always really appreciate you being here to watch my videos. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions about them, always feel free to leave something in the comments. I will always come around and answer anything you've got questions about. This will be interesting to see how I end up using these, or if I do. But I think I can come up with some really interesting ideas for them. So stick around and see what happens. So I've got these ocean aquarium nails that I've been working on, and these Dacquoise sand gels were really giving me coral vibes. And I used to have a saltwater tank, and I kept corals, and they very much have like a sandy kind of texture to them that these gels reminded me of. So I thought it would be really fascinating to see what they would end up looking like. Now, because my aquarium set has a lot of cat eye color shift stuff going on, I did want to do the tips of the coral in this shifty color, just to give it a little more dimension. So I thought I would just pop some of this into the tips first. This is from my Fgel Pearl Veil collection. And my thinking here is that hopefully it's just going to give it a little pop of shifting color on the tips. And then it'll have that sandy coral texture for the base of the body of the coral. So I'm just shoving a little into the tip areas here. So now that I put just a bit of the color changing magnetic polish there into the tips of the coral, now I'm going to go in with my sand gel. I've just put some down onto my palette here. I'm going to go in with my little micro detail brush, and I'm just going to fill in these lines. And what I'm using for this is FU47. It's a bit of a pinky tan. I gotta say, these molds are really quite good at like sucking the gel into place when you lay it down in there. They're so cool. Like, yeah, it still does go over the edges and such, but if you're using something small enough and you manage to get it into the crack, it does a good job of sucking the rest in there. So now that I feel like I've filled it all in, and you can see it really cool there on the back side, it looks like it's filled in pretty good. There's a little bit of a mess to clean up, just a wee bit. And I've been trying out my silicone tool for this because I used to use the little fuzzy dental sticks, like such. And while they do work, I'm always nervous about leaving behind little fuzzies because they do shed. So while they're really great for the cleanup, I feel like they can sometimes leave some of that fuzz behind. And that worries me. All right, I feel like I've gotten that sufficiently cleaned up, so it's time to cure. Oh, actually, before I cure, it's time to move that magnet. So there's a little wee bit of magnet color in those tips, and what I want is the dual shift out of it. I don't want like the magnet shine. I just want the neat color effect. And there's not a lot in there, so it's not super reactive. No, I'm going to cure that and see how it does. Here it is out of the light. It's been cured, but because I want to make sure that I don't lose any of these little pieces because it is thin and delicate, I'm just going to go in with a bit of base. And that's just to make sure that everything stays attached to each other. And I'm just going to draw it along all the little bits because some of these are really tiny and they can get kind of knocked off each other. It doesn't have to be anything fancy or special. I will be gluing this down with a gem gel anyway, but again, this is just to make sure that hopefully all the little parts stay attached and nothing falls off. Now we're all finished and cured, so let's very gently pop our little coral out and see what we got. Oh, wow, it looks so cool. Look at how cute that is, guys. Those little color pops on the end for the tips. This is looking so much like real coral to me. And of course, those little clear bits, very easy to just go through with a pair of tweezers and just kind of pull them away. Comes away very, very easily. You just need good tweezers that have a tight close on them. Do it gently, and you'll just pluck away all of that. But really, it's not a big deal, because when I go to glue it down onto my nail, because this is going to be a front embellishment, then you won't notice any of that, because it'll be sunk in with some gem gel. And I feel like I was really right about that sand texture gel. It really gave it that extra dimension of looking like coral, because it's got that like sandy, gritty texture to it. And that's very much what coral looks like, a lot of it. Not all of it, of course, but your staghorn corals and these types, they look like they were made out of sand. And so does this. It's very cool. It's exactly what I was thinking. Now, yes, it's very, very tiny and hard to see. Maybe I'll be able to do like a macro picture and attach it here. But in real life, this is the look that I was going for. And so if you're enjoying this video and seeing how this was done, check out my playlist for lots more like it as I finish off these aquarium nails and all the different techniques and different gel polishes I use to get the looks I'm going for. Hopefully they'll be set up in a playlist so you can watch them one after the other. So cool, guys. I'm super excited to get this onto my aquarium nail. I think this is going to be adorning my pinky, and that's what my pinky will look like, with some awesome fish and such floating in behind it. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that, and I can't wait until these aquarium nails are finished and I can show you how it all turned out. Of course, as always, until next time, guys, don't forget to love your nails. Bye.